the Iranian hostages were held hostage in Tehran for 444 days, plus Hank Aaron and Reggie Jackson have the number 44. So, somehow or other, all of them come together. That's the way my mind thinks. I can't tell you where I left my keys to my car or for my wallet or my phone that I lose at least 6 times a day, but I can tell you that. Isn't that productive? Now, for some reason or other, I got 2 people calling in. Jason already made his weekly call, so let's see if it's going to be one of those shows. I'm going to find out in about 3 seconds. No.
So let's see. Hey, Glenn.
What's happening?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So, do you know what they're doing in California?
Tell me what they're doing in California, Donnie. Wait. Did you call the hotline show today with this theory as well? I think I heard you on the show today.
No, I didn't call today. No.
All right, go ahead. What's your theory about California? And I'll tell you mine.
I must have missed that one. So
I must have missed that episode of 60 Minutes.
Yeah, go ahead. Look it up. It's called Directed Energy Weapons. Okay.
Right.
Northrop Grumman is one of the companies that actually make these high-powered lasers. Okay, you can look them up. This technology isn't new, but this is something that they're using. I actually have a video on my Facebook, on my YouTube, and on my TikTok of a guy in his house. He was filming out the window, and you can see the lasers come down and light all the trees and bushes, the brushes on fire.
This is hilarious. Donnie, you there?
Yeah.
You okay? Donnie.
Yep.
Here's the thing. Why in the world would a tinderbox like Southern California, outside the outskirts of Los Angeles, Orange County, right on the ocean, that's been dried out for years, especially this past summer? They have no irrigation system. They have no means of watering anything down. And then they had hurricane winds upwards of 90 miles an hour that went across this crescent. Why in the world would they need something from outer space to start that fire? A cigarette butt could start that fire.
Listen, it's not from outer space. You attach them to aircraft, okay? Just like the infrared on a helicopter or on a plane, you know, the infrared, it's a big lens on the front.
Right. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Same thing. They mount them on planes.
So did one, out of the millions of people that live in Southern California, only one guy saw this, Donnie?
No, there's other videos of it, but I'm just saying
don't you think we would have seen that?
Okay.
Well, if you have one, everyone does. It's like you said, it's on 4 different platforms. I mean, it's public. Donnie.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is if anybody wants.
But I'm just saying, Donnie.
I have it.
You have a crazy fascination for conspiracy theory and the supernatural.
No, it's not a conspiracy theory. Do you know what Smart LA is? 2028.
What is it? Heritage 2025?
Smart cities. Do you know about smart cities?
Now, anything you ask me, Donnie, the answer is no. I don't, because you have a whole different approach to what is real and what isn't real.
Okay, Glenn. Let's take an easy approach at this. There's too many red flags for what's going on in California. Okay, let me talk about the red flags. One, all the insurance companies dropped these people in Pacific Palisades.
Not all.
A few months ago.
Yeah.
That's odd. Another thing that's odd is that there was no water in the fire hydrant. That's another red flag.
Wait. No, Donnie. Wait. Give me the first.
They cut $17 million.
Okay, the water. I just want to write all these down. I'm not going to keep this going too long because it's crazy.
You didn't know that?
Okay.
You didn't know that there was no water in the fire hydrant?
No, I did. I just want you to. I want your theory, and then I'll give you my theory. How's that sound? You have your side, and I have mine. Okay, wait. Just go back. It was water hydrants. What were the first 2 other crazy theories? And I'll prove them wrong. I'll debunk them immediately. Go ahead. What was the other 2?
You're not going to be able to debunk this.
Yes, I will. Go ahead. Just give me the previous 2. You had fire hydrants were dry. What was the other ones? God, you just had them in your head. You can't tell me? All right, what are the next ones? I'll continue. I don't want to go on forever with this. Go ahead.
I said, $17 million was cut, all right? They just did that. Now, look what happened in Maui, all right? There was a bunch of cuts. There was no water, all right? And then all these people burned up. It's Smart City, LA, 2028.
All right, Donnie, I've got. Listen. Okay, I'm just going to tell you. First of all, that the $1 million cut had the only thing to do with that is just bad bad politics. That's blue state, blue city politics. They want to cut down on things that that aren't important to them. What is rather important to the Democrats, including Karen Bass and that woman that looks like a man that's running the fire department, is cultural appropriation and DEI.
Can you debunk the video?
Okay, the video I'll get to in a little bit. I'll get to that in a little bit. The water hydrants. Yes, as a result of bad politics, bad leadership, the water hydrants had no means because as was stated yesterday, astutely yesterday by a caller, he went over the whole reason, and I heard the same exact report yesterday on Fox News on how Gavin Newsom has actually closed down. Like Mulholland, I remember that name about the what do they call them? The reservoirs. Closed them down and diverted most of the water that comes into the Sierra Mountains past Michael Corleone's house in Tahoe and goes right into the damn ocean. That is just bad government. That's the reason why this happened, Donnie. For you to suggest that just because you saw some guy take a video outside his house and a couple other people saw that, don't you think that lasers from whether it was in outer space or on top of someone's garage would have been seen by perhaps tens of thousands, if not millions of other people, and it would be on the front page of every newspaper right now? And here's one last question.
Oh, I mean, sure, but don't forget about the information war and how they like to try to keep
That's my next
covered.
point. Which is owned by the left. Why would the left do this to themselves? They are in the sewer to begin with. Why would they incriminate themselves so much more just a week and a half before the inauguration and then burn down the second largest city in America? Not to mention their base, including their voters, their blue voters, their gay and other communities, and Hollywood. Why would they do that, Donnie?
If you think that the president or any left or right runs our country, you're sadly mistaken.
All right, so
there's some real gangsters out there that have more
Donnie, I
money
gotta go.
than God knows what to do with. All right?
Right.
Like,
No, I gotta go. You're gonna go into another tirade into the weeds, and I can't get into it. I said what I was going to say, and I appreciate your theory, but we have to move on. Okay, Donnie?
Well, listen, there's too many red flags.
All right,
It's a copycat of Molly.
All right. God, you know the good thing about the Donnie call? I got out what I needed to get out, and that's good. That's killing two birds with one stone. Hi, you're in the air.
I couldn't not call in when Donnie called in because I had to call in because Donnie keeps bothering me now.
Oh, my goodness. It's Michael Schwartz on the phone from Two Mics Live from Rumble, not to mention the Dr. Michael Schwartz show heard each and every day at 10 o'clock on Rumble as well, the fastest growing shows on Rumble, and for that matter, in political discourse online. Yeah, I know. Mike sent me a text from an exchange between yourself and Donnie, I believe, this week. And, Donnie was on your show like 2 Fridays ago, Mike, or something of that nature, talking about the Flat Earth Society. See what you did? You opened up a can of worms.
Well, I try because we're equal opportunity. It's free speech. Try to give everybody free speech, but I can't. It's like, I don't know. I don't understand why everything's a conspiracy.
Right.
Now it's lasers starting fires in California.
That 3 people saw, yeah. Yeah, and did you hear me? Because I could have started that fire from Watertown, New York, Mike. That's how volatile Southern California, and yet somehow the lasers from God knows where had to start that fire instead to make things even worse. Yeah, incredible. But
I tried calling, but Donnie was occupying all the airwaves with nonsense, and I'm sitting here and it's ringing, and
right.
I'm hoping you would see you had another caller so that we couldn't continue to dumb the world down. Considering,
but like I said, Donnie's good too because then obviously he's on the other end of things, which is good. But then I got my thing, and I wanted to get all of his points. I missed 2 of them, but all of them come back to bad leaders. And what's going on in California, I've never been there, Mike. I'm assuming you have, but you know what's been going on there. And I was going to say today, and I'll say it right now, that at this point, other than the Civil War and why we fought the Civil War because of the Democrats, and why, and of course the Southern Democrat governors and senators and so forth during the Jim Crow era, I think that right now is the lowest point in the Democratic Party in American history. Do you agree with that?
Oh, it's incredible, and I mean you could see it in real time. I just saw a video. My producer sent me over a video of Biden and Harris listening to a Zoom with Gavin Newsom and some other California executives, and they're sitting there trying to take the blame away, and they're saying, "Oh, we know it's not your fault that there's no water and the lines are down and there's no power to the pumps." They had 3 red flags this month. They've only had 3 red flags ever in the last 3 years. Now they've had 3 in a month. They were poised for this fire. They knew it was coming. The mayor's in Ghana. Taking a military plane back,
right.
And they don't do anything with forest management. This has been something we've been talking about for years. I just played a clip of Donald Trump saying 4 different things over the last 4 or 5 years about this very thing.
Right.
We knew it was coming, and of course, they just want to play the blame game. Come on. Look, the Democratic Party, if you can't see that their policies have destroyed America and that they cut close to home. They care more about the smelt than they do water management over there, the forestry management. Mm-hmm. It's always something. It's always somebody else's DEI, whatever it is. The fire department has been hiring based on DEI.
Right.
Why can't we have the best people to manage these things? Because that's what we need when we're going through a crisis like this.
Yeah, and in addition to all that, you need people that are going to stick up for your department and not take it in the other direction. I think, for instance, the fire commissioner there, obviously part of the DEI plan. She's a woman. She's an outward, gay person, and like Seinfeld would say, Mike, there's nothing wrong with that. But it seems as if that once you achieve that level, once you get to be the fire chief or police chief or mayor, for that matter, for such a large city, we're talking Los Angeles here. Once you get to that level, it's almost like they're content. It's like, oh, I made it. I made it to this level. I don't need to do anything for this point going on. I don't need to fight for my department to get 17 million or 20 million or 30 million. I don't need to jump up on a box anymore and say, hey, we're going to burn if we don't do this. I don't need to do that because I achieved what I wanted to achieve. I'm a woman, I'm a lesbian, and I'm running one of the biggest fire departments in America. And that's all that mattered to her. Same thing with Karen Bass, same thing with Gavin Newsom, and quite frankly, same thing with their former senator there and candidate and also vice president, Kamala Harris. They get to that level and then they stop. And that's what the Democratic Party is all about right now. They're incredibly incompetent.
There's an old saying in politics, if you stick around long enough, you'll eventually get the job you want. A lot of these people are political hacks as well. But the problem is if all you need is a D next to your name in California, that's all they care about. It doesn't matter. Merit doesn't matter. Degrees don't matter. Experience doesn't matter. It just matters that you have that D next to your name.
Right.
And it's really scary to think that that's what people vote for. But now, look, you get what you get. And I feel really bad for a lot of the people in California. There's a lot of us, by the way. I tell everybody it's not just rich folk. It's not just the stars. You got people. You got firefighters,
sure.
Cops, teachers, everybody.
Sure.
Everybody says, it's a rich area. They could rebuild. There's a lot of people who are never going to be able to rebuild because the insurance pulled out in that area.
Right.
And people forget that when they think of Southern California or especially Los Angeles because they keep showing Ben Affleck's home, Paris Hilton's home, people like that.
Right.
There are a lot of people in Southern California that are going to be suffering for a very long time.
Sure.
And I hope that's not lost on your audience.
Well, let me add, it's not. But here's the thing, and it's amazing how only up until now, at least, only 10 bodies have been found. That in itself is incredible. But I tell this to my friend Liz, I tell it to my wife, I tell it to a lot of people. Once everything's, once the air clears, I believe the rich, the people living in Malibu and the $20 million mansions and whatnot, they're going to get their hand out, whether you and I, Mike, or anyone listening right now knows that or not. Just like the monies they got during COVID. Don't worry, you're covered, Will Farrell. I'm sorry you lost one of your 16 houses, but we're going to give you $10 million up next week. Don't tell anyone about it. I think that's going to happen. And secondly, I think no matter how bad things are in California, and this has got to be rock bottom. It's got to be. And it wasn't even an earthquake, because an earthquake, you can't blame the governor. You can't blame anyone. It's an act of God. In this one, it was preventable, and it looks like an earthquake. Tens of thousands of buildings just leveled as a result of this. But yet my point is this, Mike. There's still, once the air clears, once the election time comes around next November and the next one, for the senator, for the mayor, they're still going to vote blue. I don't know why, but it's such an illness, and they just can't get rid of it.
Well, I'm hoping they start to wake up. And it sucks that it takes something like this of this magnitude for them to, actually wake up and see that their leaders are incompetent and maybe they should be voting for something else. But you're right. It's unfortunate. That area has become so brainwashed,
yeah.
Let's say. And
Hollywood.
They're watching MSNBC and CNN. They don't listen to your show, that's for sure.
No, yours. Not yours. No. And they don't want to read your books. They think you're a quack. They think you're nuts. Yep. You're an enemy. You're nefarious. He's one of them. Yep. And they did all this.
Think that.
Yeah. Well, of course. But what does it take? And in my opinion, and by the way, I don't know if you've been listening to the show in recent weeks. I've been on TikTok, and it's disturbing me to the point where I just can't believe the number of live podcasts. Granted, some of them have 3-4 people on there. Others have quite a few, like maybe 60 to 100 or 500, 1,000. And it's young people, a lot of them minority black women. I'm being redundant there, who are just so hateful towards Donald Trump. And all I look at is, don't these people read the headlines? Don't you see what the Democratic Party is all about? Look what just happened. And by the way, even though we're new into this, the year of 2025, Mike, we're talking to Mike Schwartz here from the Two Mikes Live show. The one thing that I would say, that although it's early on, and it's going to be Trump's first year, and you know what Tom Homan's going to do in the first couple of weeks and months, which is going to take up all the headlines, I still think what happened in Los Angeles this past week will be the biggest story of the year. It's such a huge blunder, and if it speaks volumes about how left-wing politics is run.
Yeah, I mean, all you've got to do is look at the pictures. I mean, this morning it was 10,000 structures and homes that have been destroyed. I don't know what that number is tonight. I'm about to go on air in about
The fires
2
are still
hours.
happening. Yeah, they're still on. Yeah, it's incredible. And one last thing. Karen Bass, and you mentioned it before. How in the world you see the forecast? You know it's coming. You know that if someone just drops a cigarette butt, the whole part of the city is gone. No one had the imagination to know it was going to get this bad. But I knew just by watching Fox Weather that they said high winds, not gusts, were going to be at hurricane level coming this, whatever, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it was. And how in the world can the mayor at that point agree to go to an inauguration in another continent that takes 17, 18 hours to get there, and she knows this storm is coming, but she goes to an inauguration to someone she's never met. And it comes back to this, Mike. To me, it's like she's a woman, she's empowered, she's a black woman, she's a mayor of the second largest city in the country, and she looks at it, oh, I got an invite to, she feels like it was a scene out of like Coming to America with Eddie Murphy. Oh, I've got to do this. Oh, this is a big moment for me. I'll take my family, my assistant, and she completely walks away from her responsibility, knowing that this storm was off the coast of the Pacific Ocean there on the West Coast. Incredible. It speaks volumes. It really does.
It's always symbolism over substance with Democrats, and that's what bothers me. And you know what? The voters, the populists, they fall for it. That's why they vote for this stuff. They really got to look. I was saying this morning when I used to be a cop, they used to teach you, don't look at their eyes, look at their hands. Their eyes aren't going to tell you what they're going to do. Their hands do stuff, you know.
That's true.
Don't listen to these people. Watch what they do. It's not that hard to pay attention, people. A lot of people like to tune out of the news. I don't like politics, but politics likes you.
Yeah.
It likes you at every corner. And now these people in California have to deal with the political nonsense. Now, you're talking about permitting. I mean, This is going to go on for years and years. It is a real shame, Glenn.
By the way, did you see the Adam Carolla bit about permits to the rich in Malibu and how they're going to get a taste of their own medicine? That's where I disagree. I think they're still going to bypass all that and then we have other reports of rich estate kids. One of them was a couple in their 20s, and they're renting. They're not owning. They rent Marvin Gaye's house on the ocean. It's a $20 million mansion, and they're renting this. And now they don't have a house, and now they have a GoFundMe account, and they generated at least $52,000 already. And I'm thinking, Mike, these people, I mean, I think they got the money. Someone guesstimated that a monthly lease in a Marvin Gaye mansion on the West Coast on the ocean goes upwards of $100,000 a month, excuse me. Wow. And exactly, but whatever it is, it's a lot of money. And I'm sorry, Mike, I don't feel sorry for this couple. Something tells me that they're insured for their contents. They didn't lose their house. So a lot of fraud's going to come out of this, a lot of BS stories that people are going to fall for. And the worst thing, like I've been saying, people are just not going to look at this as a prime example to why the left is so bad. The red is in their bloods. The red is in their blood, but it's not in their hearts, and it's never going to be in their hearts.
I know firsthand from Hurricane Sandy. We had a program called Restore the Shore, and our charity gave out over $3 million to over 3,400 families. That's 10,000 individuals, and we didn't care about race, color, creed. We didn't care about any of that. We looked at the need. We took care of it immediately. The problem that most people don't understand about these disasters is that when the government comes out and Congress says, "Oh, we've just allocated $500 million," it makes people feel better, but they don't realize that the access to that money is almost non-existent,
right,
especially for people that are in the donut hole, because a lot of that money goes to people that have household incomes under a certain number. In Hurricane Sandy, when Robin Hood gave us a bunch of money, they didn't want anybody getting funding that had under $50,000 or over $50,000 of a household income. You show me one person in Southern California. You show me one person at the Jersey Shore
Right.
who has a household income of less than that. And,
No.
it's renters, don't get me wrong. Renters need help, too.
Sure, of course.
But the homeowners, they're going to have a hard time accessing that government money. And by the time the bureaucrats get involved and it gets whittled down, that homeowners don't get that money in hand. It never works that way. You have to go through some program that the government sets up, and they allocate it with all these restrictions. They make it so hard. So, when you hear all this nonsense and the government's going to allocate X, Y, and Z, it never gets into the hands of the people that need it. These people are going to be suffering for years.
This is awful. And again, I hope they learn their lesson and at the same time get their lives back because like you said, Mike, whether they're left or right doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you want to see people recover from this. But California is just going to make it difficult, like you just stated. So tonight,
Yeah, but don't forget, Glenn.
Yeah.
I got a lot of friends in California that are on our side as well, and they're mixed in. Just like people here, you're from New York, I'm from New Jersey. They think we're all blue. It's not true. You're in a red area. I'm in a red area, Jersey. There's a lot of people on our side that are in. So don't discount everybody and blow it off because you might be looking at it politically. Don't do that. There's a lot of folks fighting the good fight that are on our side of the aisle.
Absolutely. There's no question. By the way, there's so many other things to talk about because it's endless. The California thing is just one thing, but the Canadian thing, the Gulf of America, Panama. So let's do this again. Call up next week, and let's see if we can cover the bases with those two as well, Mike.
All right, you got it, buddy.
All right, good. Thanks again. That's Mike Schwartz from his Two Mics Live on Rumble. That's tonight at 7 o'clock, goes on to at least 8:30. That's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then then it's the Mike Schwartz Show. He's the solo act with Mike each and every Monday through Friday. That's at 10 o'clock. Fastest growing show on Rumble. All right, listen, I got to do a break. We're way behind, and I'll be back after this.
It's a new year, so make it a new beginning by saving money.